There's a few things that need to happen. Professional league in Canada, I don't think it's acceptable that as a top-ranked team in the world, we don't have an environment for our women to play professionally in.
We are going to build a top-tier women's professional league, bring some of the world's best players here to Canada.
Now it officially has a name.
The league will be officially known as the Northern Super League.
I think we've got a great 6 markets to start that strongly represent Canada.
Montreal, Ottawa, Halifax, Toronto, Calgary, and Vancouver.
This is about opportunities for Canadians across the country. Because we've got the 3rd largest player pool in the world. We have some of the best fans in the world. We have some of the best players in the world.
Well, for decades, Canadian players have had to ply their trade outside of this country's borders, south of the border, overseas, and now they have a place to play right here in the Great White North, Amy, and it's just so important for the development system and the ecosystem in this country.
It really is. So before, the top of that pyramid was the women's national team, and you maybe had a wider roster of potentially 40 players. But the reality of it was probably 25, right? So now we're broadening it at the top of the pyramid with close to 90 Canadians playing professionally in their own backyard. But then we have everything that's going to come after underneath it.
It's excellent stuff. The Northern Super League gets started shortly, but first let's go back down to our Kate McKenna at center field.
First game of the Northern Super League, Canada's first women's professional soccer league. And it is so great, I have to tell you, to be down here on the field joined by young soccer players, each one wearing the colors of Halifax, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Calgary, and Vancouver. 6 NSL clubs proudly represented. So to everyone here at BC Place and to everyone watching live across the country and the world, welcome. You know, tonight isn't just a game, it's a milestone. It's a powerful moment for women's professional sports in this country. And it's a promise to future generations of players that their dreams belong on this field. So let's celebrate this league, these incredible athletes, and this unforgettable night in Canadian sports history. Let's make some noise, everybody!
This didn't just happen. We made it happen. A league built by Canadians for Canadians. And now the world is watching as legends and future stars take the field. This is what power looks like on the pitch. And you are a part of that history. Welcome to the Northern Super League.
She's an Olympic bronze medalist, a World Cup veteran, and the player who scored that unforgettable goal at London 2012. Now she's leading the future of women's soccer in Canada as co-founder of the Northern Super League. Please welcome Diana Matheson. At this time, the Vancouver Rise acknowledges that this match takes place on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Coast Salish peoples, in particular, the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. Vancouver Rise is dedicated to listening, learning, and building meaningful relationships with Indigenous communities, Here to welcome you to their territories are Amai Campbell Kamangirera, Walea Williams, and Zoe George.
Siamna Siaya, Amai Quanasqui, Sinitsanat, Musquiam, Siatala Sun, Tuala Quas Ami, Kuia Tanal Hunan. Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Amai Campbell Kamangirera and I am from Musqueam. I'm honored to be here on behalf of Musqueam leadership, our community, and my family to welcome everyone to the ancestral and unceded territory of the Hunkaminam-speaking Musqueam people, land which we share with our relatives. Thank you for giving us the space to do this important work. Siatala.
Hotsquile, Tanoya, Walaya, Williams, Queens, Nas, Colt, Miss Chin, Tinatchan, Gla, Homolchison, Ohumel, Kayatstin, Nate, Tomia, Quiswai, A-T, Natasquachai. Hello everyone, my name is Walaya Williams, I'm Squamish, and I come from our Capilano village. I welcome and thank you all for joining us for this historic event.
Meet Seb Quitwilam, and Maqualia eat Zoe, Tanit Sanat, Saleh Wataf, Wananu Ait Soel, Hai Sebka Siem and Siaya. Hello everyone, my name is Zoe George, my ancestral name is Maqualia. I am from the Tsleil-Waututh and Squamish nations. Welcome here tonight to a historic game and a huge moment for women's sport. Good night, and hey, Awis.
She's the all-time leading international goal scorer in the history of the sport, Olympic medalist, world-renowned captain, and now co-owner of your very own Vancouver Rise FC. Please welcome the legendary Christine Sinclair.
Able to come home and come back to Canada after being abroad for so long. I think about it and my heart literally starts beating because I'm just so excited.
The first league that hasn't been built off of the back of the men's professional leagues.
Starting at such a momentous time in global women's football.
I've always wanted to be in Vancouver, live here.
I've never been on a team like this before. Every day we come in and it's an amazing environment to be in.
It values and prioritizes the needs of women's professional athletes.
I think this league is really important to give young soccer players an opportunity to see role models in the town that they grow up in.
To bring soccer here is going to be something really special. And something that's just going to continue growing over the years.
And everybody believes in what we're doing. I just can't wait to get started.
It's time to rise.
To welcome tonight's teams, we're honored to be joined by Vancouver Rise FC Academy players. And now for the first time in Northern Super League history, raise your scarves high. And please join us in welcoming Calgary Wild FC and your Vancouver Rise FC. Vancouver Rise FC is here to elevate the game and everyone who's part of it. Tonight we make history as the city comes together for this inaugural match where passion, pride, and community take the field. This is just the beginning. Together, let's rise. And now, please rise if you are able. And on this historic day for women's sport in Canada, welcome Vancouver's own Bukola for the singing of our national anthem, O Canada.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing heart we see thee rise, the true north strong and free, from far and wide. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
And now, your Rise FC starting lineup.
Beautiful rendition of the anthem. These players full of emotion. Wonderful to see Sonia O'Neill there with her daughter, Aaliyah, taking in the moment as well. Shannon Wooler, home in Vancouver after 11 seasons of playing. She wears the captain's armband tonight for the Vancouver Rise. And at center there are all female officiating crew led by Marie Soleil Baudouin, two-time FIFA World Cup referee. But first, let's get some photos. Let's etch this in stone, shall we? Starting 11s for both teams being introduced here as the captains go up for the coin flip.
Number 9, Ryan Lee. Number 10, Lisa Peterski.
So Maggie Doherty Howard, Shannon Weller, two great veterans of the sport.
Number 19, Holly Ward.
And the Crow Collective, the fan group of the Vancouver Rise looking on. And the starting 11 here, Amy, I know you talked a little bit about the top of the show, but who are you keeping an eye on here?
I don't think Claire's wrong when you look at the roster and the signings and the clout that the Vancouver Rise got immediately with Quinn. I think once Vancouver signed them, I think it was a call to action or a sign to everybody else playing their soccer, toiling, and plying their trade elsewhere that hey, this is a place to be. So I think the middle of the park led by Quinn is certainly something, but Nikki Stanton as well. So I think Calgary certainly have their work cut out for them in the middle of the park.
Speaking of the Calgary Wild, let's turn our attention to their starting 11. Plenty of experience in their lineup as well as some younger players as well. Who did you want to highlight here?
Well, I already talked about, two other players in the middle of the park. I really do think that, two clubs that want to espouse this attacking, front-footed style of play. They want to control the tempo. It might end up being a game of transition, Lydia Bedford talked about urging players like Green and Grace Storty, who I think is sort of emblematic of everything this league means, wanting her to keep the ball, keep possession, drive forward. So maybe the game happens in a channel, Signa. Who knows?
Well, we'll see. It is the big mystery, these lineups, and the first game, this game is one game of 75 this season. It will transcend the sport, the Northern Super League, for years to come. BC Place Stadium under the blue sky, 10 degrees at kickoff, the roof is off, and "It's time" was the catchphrase of this league when it launched 863 days ago, and now it's here. In the words of Diana Matheson, it was just a concept or idea on a napkin, but 2 years ago it didn't even have teams. 6 months ago it didn't have players, and now the first kick. And Weller will get the ball up to Mariah Lee, and it's quickly headed on. Sophie Bukovic clearing the ball away. Again, Weller into the action. Savitsky. All the way back to Micah Rolfsma from the Netherlands. And Michaela Moore, what a pedigree she has. 3 Olympic Games from New Zealand. Bukovic going upfield. And the way these teams are lining up, kind of a mystery to us before the game, because again, we're seeing everybody for the first time. Lining up in 4-3-3s.
You've already seen it. We saw it a little bit in match day -1. You've got O'Neill kind of holding Savitsky to her left, and you've got Jordy Howard, who can also play the defensive central mid role or even a box-to-box, but she's trying to find the pockets, and then you've got sort of 4 across the front when they're building out and sending those fullbacks really high. So, I think it was either going to go one way or another, Signa, where you had 2 teams, similar playing philosophies on paper, see how it all comes to life, but is it a clash of styles that leads to some fireworks, or is it a little bit of gamesmanship and everybody's sussing each other out? We'll kind of see how it goes through the first couple minutes.
I'm here for some fireworks, Amy.
Yeah, I was going to say, the roof is off, BC Place, but we want to see a game that blows the roof off, right? So it's already happening, but a lot more paraphernalia that can be pulled down from the roof.
There's Grace Storty on the ball. Storty, her coach, likens her a lot to Lucy Bronze, and she said to Lydia Bedford, you know what, I actually did a project on her when she was 5 or 6 years old, so it was a compliment. There is Storty winning the ball back.
Now that's high praise indeed, but I think that's the potential that they see in a Grace Storty, much the way I compared Jackie Savitsky to Jessie Fleming. People are like, maybe that's a little bit too early to call, but I think you see the ceilings of these players and of this league immediately.
Jessica Howard, her first touch. Quinn spreading the ball wide, as they often do, painting the pitch. Spencer to Holly Ward. Ward, the Vancouver native, with the cross. Cleared away by Storty, picked up by Quinn. Vancouver on the attack early. Stanton to Jalen Wright on the right side.
That's easy for us commentators.
Jasmine Spencer, a great veteran as well. Ward tackled by Michaela Moore, so solid at center back.
I think, we heard Anya Heine-Moeller talk about Holly Ward, and when she got her first cap for Canada. I hope that she goes in there and does exactly what she's well suited to do, which is turn, face up, willingness to take on, go with pace, and go with confidence. And I think you saw that with her first touch of the ball here tonight.
Now, that's Sarah Griffith moving forward for Calgary. No one taking her on. Griffith looking for her spot. She makes a move. But Howard is there. The Philippines international to clear it away.
Great driving run there by Griffith. Just maybe lacked the turn of pace to finish it off and beat that last player. And Shannon Weller. I mean, you've got a lot of players who pride themselves on dribbling, on taking on and breaking lines. And successful 1v1s, but you've got other players here are up to the task defensively to also stop those same kind of probing opportunities.
Howard. Rosie Longhurst with her first touches. And the first foul of the game on Sonia O'Neill. She gets up. Vukovic. Wide to Storty, well controlled. Storty playing in Christy Gray. Gray looking for that cross in behind, cleared by Coward, our first corner kick of the match.
Gray had some space there. I think Coward was hesitant to come in and close down, but to her detriment. I think Maggie Doherty Howard immediately, you see her quality gets a little bit lucky with the touch, and they find themselves in the channel there with no pressure on them.
Set piece of the match. The ball's in. And up over top of the net.
All alone at the penalty spot there. I think you would expect Vancouver Rise to do a lot better defensively there. It looked like an intricate set piece. We'll see if we see that one again. I mean, I'm sure that we will because of the way that came off, but you've got a ball floating in there, open opportunity from the penalty spot. I think you have to do better there to be the Calgary Wild.
Morgan McCaslin getting the start in goal for the Vancouver Rise. Was with the Whitecaps in League One BC. Had 9 starts in 10 games played in that inaugural CONCACAF W Championship. Ball movement from the Wild. Gray. Doherty Howard swinging the cross in. That's a great cross.
That's a beautiful ball. That is everything on paper we're talking about. How are things going to come to life on the pitch? That is everything that you want Doherty Howard doing there. A lovely teasing ball into space for Johnson to run onto there. Just doesn't quite get. I think the timing's right, but just maybe beats it there. Doesn't anticipate the bounce off the BC Place turf, but does very well there, and Calgary threatening early.
Holly Johnson, coming from the A-League from Western United, was actually the leading scorer for her team at the mid-season point, and made a decision. She said she wanted to advance her game, play overseas, and she decided that the fit of the Calgary Wild was for her. She's just 21 already with 4 seasons of professional experience in Australia. Rolfsma back to Vukovic, Stephanie Vukovic. If the name is familiar, her sister Stephanie, her twin sister, was an Olympian in beach volleyball for Canada at the Paris Olympic Games.
I might know a thing or two about calling other sports during the Olympics. I think, just a few. Some judo, some volleyball, some footy. Where you get the crossover, that muscle memory. I've seen that name before.
Matheson over top. McCaslin has to be careful. My goodness.
Right on the edge of the penalty spot. That almost went really, really badly for the Vancouver Rise. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication. Looks down, finds herself right on the edge of the box, and maybe likely a good thing that decides to not pick it up, but that could have ended badly for the Vancouver Rise.
Rise trying some combination, just out of the reach of Ward. Look at Jasmine Spencer, another veteran that the Rise picked up from the NWSL. 12 seasons across a few teams.
When at acres of space there, and we know how they can pull the strings from a deeper lying position, and Wright just a little bit hesitant to just go around the corner there, but that space was there to provoke, or if you're not going to go, check into feet, recycle possession. We know Quinn is highly adept at that as well, and really good at the switch of plays. So some patience, but a lot of hesitancy shown as well, as I think the players are just trying to find their footing early on. And you're seeing Calgary, I think, do well, especially in the defensive third, to show that patience, to show that resolve. And you've got Vancouver now, it looks like they're edging up the pitch and maybe moving that mid-block to a bit more of a hybrid.
Mariah Lee! And that is cleared away by Rolsema. But a turnover at the top of the box, nearly costly for the Wild.
Yeah, you're seeing there, I think, just getting to know the opponent and seeing tendencies, and Vancouver creeping up and seizing their opportunity there. Doesn't quite come off at the end, but they get the Calgary Wild to cough up the ball in a really dangerous position.
Nikki Stanton out of the Seattle Reign, taking the corner kick. Short corner. Back to Spencer. The bending cross to the far post. Cleared away by Michaela Moore. And she'll pick up Mariah Lee after that.
That's well worked by the Vancouver Rise. That was absolutely on in the back post. Free header, maybe come back across right on the stick. It's maybe the better goal, but you're seeing Mariah Lee for Vancouver Rise really pose some problems for Michaela Moore and Rolsema early on.
Our Claire Rustad had asked, who's your most explosive finisher? And it was Mariah Lee, according to Anya Heiner-Moller. There's Anya Heiner-Moller back in Vancouver after 5 years away. She served as an academy coach with the Whitecaps and North Shore Girls Soccer Club.
Holly Ward again, just trying to get to that byline, trying to beat players. But that's what she does. I mean, that's what you want her to do in that channel: isolate players, and here, be aggressive, hunt the ball.
Wolfa. Sadisky. Vukovic looking just over the head of Storty.
We've seen this pattern of play. I don't know if you remember yesterday, Signa, when we were at BC Place. Pull back a little bit higher, and then directly from Vukovic to see if she could find them defeat. It was a little bit long there for Storty.
Gray with a tackle to make sure that the Wild can clear that away. Michaela Moore, Mouse, as she's called by her teammates. And Coward picks up the Vancouver third. Well, Quinn. A toe to Stanton. Back to Quinn. They know each other very well from the Seattle Reign. Stanton saying it was a big reason why they chose to come to the Vancouver Rise. Hard tackle. And Marie-Soleil Baudouin says, nah. Vancouver attacking now at the top of the box. The shot! Vukovic easily handling that one, but
Longhurst with that shot. I mean, I think that you see a midfield for the Rise. I think Quinn's going to sit a little bit deeper, but that will allow the likes of Stanton and Longhurst to be released a little bit further up and be available to test Vukovic from distance.
Weller. Longhurst drawing the foul. And Baudouin handing out a card.
Well, on a night when we're going to have a lot of firsts, Signa, did you think that a caution was going to be the first thing?
No.
I'm not mad.
I mean, corner kick technically was our first.
So, check. Things of note. I mean, corner kick, sure, but and maybe clean sheets and who's going to get the first goal for the Northern Super League. Maybe, on somebody's bingo card, maybe a yellow card was in there somewhere.
Nikki Stanton on the ball. The chip over top, but no one's on that run, and Calgary escapes unscathed. BC Place Stadium hosting this inaugural game. The Vancouver Rise will actually play at Storm Guard, which is known in BC soccer circles. Vukovic. Oh boy, they're really playing with danger, aren't they, out of the back? Moore looking for Gray. Attacked by Jasmine Spencer. Spencer across. Vukovic gets a hand on it. And out of the way and cleared from Allie Green just in time.
I think you're seeing there, you want to see a team espouse a certain style of play, a certain philosophy to stick to their guns, but you also have to pick your spots. You don't want to do so stubbornly and perhaps to your detriment. And Gray there, for the Rise, Spencer, seizes her moment there, intercepts a wayward ball and comes in on goal. So I think you're going to have to see a Calgary Wild team now pick their spots a little bit more in their build-up.
Maggie Doherty-Howard playing the ball for Sonia. And Gray can't handle the touch.
Not the best pass, to be fair. That was well behind her. A little bit of a miscommunication there, or just perhaps another wayward pass.
Stanton out of bounds. So throw in for Calgary.
You see a little bit of nerves, maybe, Signa?
I'm thinking, yeah, understandable. This is a monumental night in Canadian football history. The Northern Super League, which is conceptualized by Diana Matheson and Thomas Gilbert, brought to life over the last 2.5 years. 6 teams, over 132 players, 87 or so are those Canadian players. Each roster is allowed to have 8 internationals. Vukovic well off her line.
Great towering win there by Coward.
Gray with the cutback. Sonia swinging it. Off by Wright. And a late tackle by Allie Green, the New Zealand international.
Well, when you have to stop the opponent going quickly in attacking transition, that's the way to do it. I mean, there are tactical fouls and professional fouls, or there's leaving a stud, and that was the latter. It's all the same effect.
Spencer. Savitsky back to Rolfsma.
I think you're seeing the nerves there as well. You see Savitsky get that almost on the half turn. It's a square pass. She can absolutely turn forward there. That's a hallmark of her play. And instead, doesn't think, doesn't scan, doesn't check her shoulder, and immediately plays backwards. So I think you're seeing some tendencies now that I would point to nerves. Because, you know, you think about this occasion, this is going to be a night of first. It's the inaugural match. But it's not the crescendo. It's going to be what's happening next. But it's for these players, it's the balance of, Shannon Weller talked about it.
Well won by Doherty Howard. And the long kick. Oh, my. She saw Matheson off her line and took her opportunity. And she's looking for a touch. Thought that should have been a corner kick.
Listen, we were talking to Lydia Bedford about Doherty Howard and her ability to score on some streamers and to pull the trigger and to call her own number, and you see it there. And adept with the left and the right foot. But Tess McCaslin and just goes wide. But I expect to see some more of that from the Calgary midfield.
These teams have both had 10-week preseasons. Doherty will get to that. Gets across and cleared by Cowart. And Ward has some space. Gray did well to close that down, but Ward stays on it. Ward against Michaela Moore. Tackle in the box. And we've got a penalty.
That is some tremendous determination shown there by Holly Ward. Tries it the first time, maybe not fully committed to it, gets a second crack at it, and doesn't go to the byline, goes directly at Michaela Moore and thinks, I'm going to sniff out goal here, and makes her make the decision as a defender. Do I let Ward go by me, or do I have to haul her down? And Moore did the latter, and again, in the night of first, we're going to see the first penalty kick for the Vancouver Rise.
Vukovic, a race, and the crowd, you can hear the crowd because it is Quinn stepping up to the spot. Minutes into this scoreless match, and Quinn with the opportunity to put their team ahead and score the first goal in Northern Super League history. Quinn, 106 caps for country, Olympic gold and bronze medalist, and the biggest signing of the Vancouver Rise with the opening goal of the league. I think you said it, emblematic of what this league stands for is a player like Quinn. Such a champion for change. Mariah Lee with a break. Lee, and is this two? Cuts it back. Stanton with a goal. And Vukovic covers that up.
Mariah Lee, I said early on, was causing problems for Moore and Ralston. That is a massive collision.
Gray took the worst of that.
Absolutely. And a caution for Spencer.
Two bookings already, and Baudouin's book, and Gray collecting herself there.
Looks like it's going to be okay. Needs a second. Hopefully is fit to continue. But I wanted to talk about that explosive run in the right channel by Mariah Lee. Before we do that, though, here's the foul. Just completely misjudged by Jasmine Spencer. Goes a lot wider than she expects and just completely leans into Gray, and Gray definitely the worse for it. But back to Lee. Explosive, everything I think she was built to be for the Vancouver Rise.
Throw in for the Wild. After that goal was scored by Quinn, the Wild gathered together in the 18-yard box, collected themselves in a circle, just to have a few words. Let's see if that will calm them down after that early 21st minute goal by Quinn.
Well, I was talking before the long-range effort by Doherty Howard that I think tonight you have to allow yourself, even as a player, to live and feel and let the occasion wash over you. And then you play the game, maybe compartmentalize it. But you can see a little bit of nerves in the players, and you wonder whether the response will be what they hope it will be to that goal for the Calgary Wild.
Quinn to Howard. Closed down by Doherty Howard. Weller to Stanton now. Ball trying to play through to Josie Longhurst, but Rolfsma back to Bukovic.
Seeing Longhurst kind of pop up all over the pitch, pulling wide when required, floating around in those half spaces, and I think a player that's going to be elusive between the lines for the Rise.
Savitsky on the far touchline. Picked off by Quinn, and the Rise will reset through Wohler.
You heard it. Enya Heiner-Moller talk about the fact that Quinn, not only emblematic, I think, of this philosophy of play, but that they will execute the tactical game plan for the Rise and dropping deep to be the architect of that build-up and picking their spot and when to accelerate the play, when to slow it down.
Ward versus Storty. Ward getting the better of it. But cleared. Out of trouble, Savitsky. Playing out of the back. Now Gray looking forward. And nothing there.
I don't mind that by Ward, trying something, trying your luck. That's where you want to do it in that attacking third. But you're on the byline and she chooses right-footed outside of the foot to nobody as a cutback.
Lovely ball over top. And there is Ward again, Amy. Trying to go one-on-one versus Storty. The late tackle. Bukovic gets a foot on that. It went off the post.
Smashed off the post signal.
Cross in. Griffith. Nicely played back. Savitsky giving it up. And nearly with another
effort, left-footed, doesn't quite come off, but also leading the line occasionally on that press, or at least deciding when they're going. But Holly Ward so far winning that battle of the 1v1 duels versus Grace Storty. calling her own number, getting to that byline, being dangerous, threatening consistently when she's on the ball. And it seems right now, Signa, that Calgary can't quite catch their breath and looking for a spell, I think, here of possession to get some rest on the ball, put their foot on it a little bit, and try to dictate. But right now they're just chasing shadows.
Howard from Redwood City, California, Philippines international, played 35 for the country. A teammate of Jackie Savitsky. More back to Bukovic.
We saw Stanton flying really high there as well, so you're seeing that pairing either in Longhurst or in Stanton, alternately depending which side fullback is in possession, looking to threaten in behind. If I'm the Vancouver Rise right now, I'm going high press all the time because I think you sense the uncertainty with this Calgary Wild team, and the Vancouver Rise seems to be firing on all cylinders. So you just go, you put them under pressure even when you're without the ball and force them to cough up the ball. But they need to do something here like connect, find each other in space, get the simple things right. Get the things Casey Stoney talked about this thing, doing the things that take no effort, doing those right, doing those consistently. I think that's what the Calgary Wild need to do to get back into this game.
Lee turning 40. Lee shielding. And they managed to get that out of trouble. Looks like a Calgary Wild throw after a deflection. Lively crowd at BC Place for the inaugural match of the NSL. Griffith looking behind. Weller clears it. Not quite out of trouble yet. Savitsky into Gray. Gray, can she tuck it across? Oh, nearly.
Seeing Johnson drift over again and create problems. She's definitely finding space, finding that seam between Cowart, those blind runs in front of Weller. And then Cowart isn't aware of it, and that's a couple of times now. Doherty Howard was the first one who played that ball, and then a second one now that finds her and almost hurts the Rise, almost finds the equalizer, but they win themselves a corner.
Wild trailing 1-0. Another corner kick. Griffith on the ball. Cracks one in. Right at the penalty spot. No one's there.
Great work there by Stanton.
Stanton's so tough on the ball.
First the block, then the win to clear.
Griffith trying to turn. Was it Christine Sinclair that said she's actually glad she's not playing in the Northern Super League this year because she didn't like all those Stanton tackles that she used to get in the NWSL.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. But no, listen, if Sink was healthy, was feeling it mentally and physically, she would have laced up the boots and she would have been playing here. But what a great ambassador for the game, and great to see she and Dee, who really have been pioneers for Canadian soccer. You know, irrespective of the women's program or the men's program, just important figures in sport in Canada.
Shorty getting forward. The cross in over the net.
Couple of attacks where you can see the confidence building for the Wild, but for the last 10 or 12 minutes, really a few minutes before Quinn converted on that penalty, the field was tilted down the way of Bukovic.
Lovely turn by Quinn. Right. Lee still with possession. Looking for help.
Looking for some combination play maybe.
A little too far for Wright.
Yeah, got the weight of the ball a little bit wrong there. Quentin did. But I like the look. Looking to provoke in behind. The good variety of attack too from the Vancouver Rise.
Again, the Wild playing over the back. Sonia. Back to Moore, who will steer it. Moore really enjoying her time with Calgary from day dot, as they like to say in New Zealand. Just the people so friendly, loves being part of a community that has so much nature around it, and certainly brings a lot of leadership to the Calgary Wild. Jordy with a long throw. Holly Johnson has come over to this right side. Jordy Howard does well to keep with it. Back to Rolfsma. Savitsky. Vukovic again. Way out. Like a sweeper back there.
Keeper's sweeper, Shayna. That's what the modern goalkeeper is.
Moore keeping it alive. Back to Vukovic. 10 minutes remaining in this opening half of the inaugural match at the Northern Super League. No matter where you're tuning in, TSN, CBC Gem, ESPN Plus, thank you for supporting the launch of this league. Holly Johnson, nice turn on Quinn. 40 inside the grip. It's a little pass.
Nice simple little play just to escape the pressure there by Longhurst. Really clever little chip ball back. Allows the Rise to catch the breath.
We talked about the preseason, 10 weeks. So the first 4 weeks were generally practices. Both of these teams training 5 times a week, 5 days a week, I should say. It looks like Lydia Bedford possibly making a change here in this opening half. Both of these teams did manage to get some exhibition games in. The Rise found themselves down in Portland, playing some exhibition games against the Portland Thorns, against Angel City in LA. While Calgary went to Denver and played some university clubs there as well, which was much needed 11v11 time.
So Vukovic there, quite happy to build out and showing composure under that, or versus that Vancouver Rise high press, but sometimes just got to put in the sand.
Sonia. Griffith earns the throw. And all of these teams built from scratch. I mean, how rare is that you build a roster? I mean, it's extremely rare, like dinosaur rare. But yeah, I mean, it's recruitment, it's sporting directors, it's agents reaching out. There's no draft here in the NFL.
Yep. Because I think a part of it being brought to life by players and understanding what it means to be part of that draft and not having a say in where you're going. It's part of this league being player-centric. And I think that is a huge attraction. That's a huge draw for this league, and it will be for the future. But, to your point about the roster construction, it allows these sporting directors, allows these coaches to conceive of their team in a bespoke manner exactly how they want. And then there are other players who are tied up in other contracts. They're going to see the quality of play. Those players will be eager to join, so you're going to see that growth. But I think you see the foundation right now and what they've laid just from the get-go.
Longhurst. Back to Quinn. Longhurst recently with the Welsh national team at their senior camp. Our good friend Rian Wilkinson getting ready for Euros this year.
First major tournament, so history being made here tonight, but that was a historic win for Wales and Rian at the helm to qualify them for their first major competition. So that will be exciting to see, but another one of our talented Canadians who had to apply their trade elsewhere, and we had to outsource our talent. So big tackle there by Doherty Howard. A free kick coming up here for the Rise, but that's part of what this league will offer too, right? It's that ecosystem, it's building that up, making that more robust so that the players perhaps playing tonight in a few years, if they decide they want to hang up the boots, they can stay in the game, but in a different capacity.
Stanton. Long ball over top. Just a little flick on by Coward, but it's covered by Bukovic.
Yeah, that was a ball that was threatening, and I think just in that kind of corridor of uncertainty where Bukovic wasn't sure if she was coming for it, if the center backs were going to go for it, but there's no reason for that ball to touch the pitch. That should be either Bukovic coming over out to claim, or that is cleared away with certainty by either Moore or Walsuma. Sarah Griffith, to want to find the ball, needs to get on the ball, needs to get involved in this match, so is roaming around a little bit and just seeking it out, and I think that's the type of initiative that this Calgary Wild team needs at this point, just in terms of mindset and attitude on the pitch right now. We know that they have the pieces, they have the quality, but I don't know if we have yet to see it.
Johnston sliding it in for Griffith and earns the corner kick. Griffith on loan from the Chicago Red Stars. It was a high pick in the NWSL draft a couple years back, 35th overall, I believe, by Chicago.
That's something else we talked about the draft earlier. How many Canadians have been drafted consistently in the NWSL? Not very many, because you're prioritizing development for Americans. So we have a league now, as Dee says, built by Canadians for Canadians, and that is what it will do even without a draft system.
Doherty Howard on the ball. Is there a goal here for the Wild before the half? Lots of action in the box, and that's slowed down.
The two previous corners from the same side, Cigna, they were floaters, maybe not to that extent on that last one, but to the penalty spot. Two occasions where they didn't get great opportunities on goal, but they looked promising, whereas that one, you have the congestion around Matheson, but you don't have to serve it. It's floated in, you need that to be whipped in, driven in. So then it's the opportunity for an own goal. It's the opportunity to just get a little glancing header on it or a touch and put it back to the net. So coming together there on the byline.
Weller and Gray.
Yeah, as you were. Shielding the ball out. Goal kick and on with your day.
McCaslin. Anya Heiner-Muller joking around that she's built like a swimmer. She just has those broad shoulders. But really what was impressive for all three keepers in the eyes of Heiner-Muller was just the Canadian DNA. And we know about the goalkeeping legacy in this country. The sporting director, interim sporting director, sporting director on maternity leave, Stephanie Labe, that's right, and Minister of Defense.
And
Georgia, yes.
And interim sporting director, Canadian Women's National Team alumni, Robin Gale, and formerly TFC, and Jack, or Jill of all trades, an all-around incredible human being in there as well. So that's a big get for them.
Slowing this game down in the waning minutes of the opening lead for the Vancouver Rise over the Calgary Wild, and looking for more is Mariah Lee, but that will go out of the touchline.
You were talking about the standard, though, with the goalkeeping and the world-class goalkeeping that Canada has churned out. I think Erin McNulty, as the associate coach for Vancouver Rise, but also leader on set pieces and also the goalkeeper coach for them. Like the mentality and the standard that Erin's setting and the day in, day out, that goalkeeping, the league, the fraternity, the sisterhood, where they don't decide who gets picked as number one, but they cultivate that high performance environment so that you get the best in between the sticks. But I think Heiner Moller was really impressed, I think collectively with the mentality of her group, but specifically with what the goalkeepers every single day were bringing to the training pitch.
Jessica Wolf, the Japanese-Canadian 19-year-old of one of the goalkeepers, as well as Kirsten Tynan out of Queen's University, backing up tonight. Howard closed down quickly by Griffith. Lee shielding.
But it got turned there, right? Like with still the pressure initially, good hold-up play. Didn't find anybody to link up with or lay off. Could have turned herself.
And that'll be out for a corner kick, late corner kick here in the waning minutes. 2 minutes of added time in this opening half.
I think you're seeing an underutilized Paczerski for the Rise a couple of times, seeking it out much the way that Griffith is doing for the Wild, just wants to be on the ball, but I think that Mariah Lee is causing so much havoc up top. I think you might see quietly a Paczerski benefit from it, just kind of ghosting into a dangerous spot and perhaps finishing.
Stanton. The spot cleared away by Gray and whistled down for a foul.
I think you're seeing two Signa. Claire and I talked about in the pregame show that this game would potentially be won in the midfield, and I think you're seeing so far through the bulk of this 45 as we get into some stoppage time that the Rise have won that resoundingly, not giving the Wild any space to maneuver, to connect, to move through there in the build-up. It's all been in the wide spaces, in the channels for the Wild.
Wolfsa, Vukovic. And that will be it for the opening half of the inaugural game for the Northern Super League. Quick thought on that opening half, Amy?
I think dominated thoroughly by the Rise, and then probably exactly how their game plan was drawn up. I think they executed through 45.
Well, you're watching the inaugural match of the NSL on TSN, CBC Gem, ESPN Plus. From BC Place Stadium in Vancouver, BC, at the half, it's the Vancouver Rise 1, Calgary Wild 0. We'll have more analysis just ahead with the panel. Stay tuned for that.
This Northern Super League match is brought to you by Canadian Tire, proud founding partner of the NSL.
halftime. Keep the good times rolling and be a part of history in our inaugural season. Tickets start at just $29 plus service charges. Scan the QR code on the screen now to secure your ticket and be a part of the new era of sports and
Hey, welcome back to BC Place for the NFL halftime presented by BMO. Kate McKenna and Claire Rustad here with you, and the score after 45, 1-0 for the Vancouver Rise, thanks to a goal by none other than Quinn from the spot. And Claire, I know you liked the level of play in that first half. I also know you liked Vancouver's attack down the left side. Tell me why you liked it.
Yeah, both Spencer and Ward were quick and decisive and really willing to go forward down that left side. Excellent technically in terms of their first touch, really willing to play that first touch forward. That instinct to go forward can't be taught, and it's really, really important. The more they push there, the more they think that they could smell blood. Amy mentioned it during the broadcast that they need to take advantage of that and press high when they can sense the weakness in Calgary and smell that blood, take advantage of it and push. And I think Ward and Spencer were really instrumental for that in the first half.
Now, Calgary also had opportunities. What went wrong?
Yeah, look, they did have opportunities, but I think they came on the back of a lot of defensive errors from Vancouver. Calgary, there were a couple of balls they played in behind really, really well, but honestly, they weren't able to capitalize that with the final touch or the final finish. Vancouver gave them way too much time on the ball, dropped off far too quickly initially, and Calgary just was not able to capitalize. Defensively, on that right side, Wright was constantly letting Calgary get on the wrong side of her. Kind of a weird thing to say. But that kind of defending, you can see it here. Johnson's able to get the jump on right on that left side, just get inside of her, and she's no longer covered. These mistakes defensively from the Rise, they were able to pick them up. It mainly happened in that first 15 minutes, but Calgary was not able to capitalize, just couldn't get on the right side of the ball.
Well, let's talk about the Intact Insurance move of the half, and this started with Holly Ward, and it ended with Quinn.
Yeah, another push forward from Ward, which was fantastic to see. Again, that speed from the flank was really, really exciting to watch. And really just a late tackle from Ward. It was a clear penalty. It was good build-up. Ward was relentless on that left side. Really a testament to her forward thinking. She draws this penalty by trying to beat more in the box, just constantly trying to get that one last little touch around her. It's just a late tackle from Ward. It's a clear penalty, but really a storybook ending here for Quinn. Fantastic finish. You just have to take a moment to remember the calm work, the quiet work that these midfielders put in off the ball. You often don't see it. It's often not there's not a lot of fanfare around it, but Quinn certainly puts that quiet work off the ball in, and that's what results from it is calm, quiet penalties.
Anya Hunter-Muller looked so happy there, and she said she likes players with courage. And let me tell you, Holly Ward looked so courageous in that first half. And speaking of the first half, let's look at the stats after 45. And Claire, when you look at these stats, what jumps out to you? It looks like a fairly even possession percentage split there.
Yeah, I mean, stats like this sometimes really just don't really tell the whole story, and this makes this look like a much more even game than I think it was. Rise certainly was much more dominant in the attack. Most of the match took place in Calgary's defensive end, and it was really defensive mistakes from Rise that allowed Calgary out. So it's really hard to tell sometimes from these possession stats because they just don't really tell the full picture.
And that's why I like sitting next to you, Claire Rustad, and getting your analysis of that first half. And what a first half it was. So much energy, so much excitement in this building, and that's only the first half of NFL soccer. We have lots more to come, and we'll have the second half coming up next. This Northern Super League match is brought to you by Toyota, proud founding partner of the NFL. place for the NSL halftime presented by BMO. And you know, there's so much focus on tonight's game that you often forget there's a long season ahead, including a big match this Saturday in Toronto as AFC Toronto hosts the Montreal Roses. And I know so many people in that city looking forward to women's professional soccer being back. So that's at BMO Field. You see it there Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern. And here's Toronto's Victoria Pickett on the match ahead.
As soon as it was proposed, the idea of Project 8, I'm like, you know what, I would love to be a part of the NSL, especially because I've always wanted to play professionally at home, but there was just never a league. So to finally have one is nothing short of incredible. So when the opportunity came up, I thought it would just be like the best fit for me. And AFC Toronto is perfect because it's close to family, close to friends. I get to be back in my home province. So, yeah, I'm really excited to finally play in front of some of these fans.
Needless to say, lots to look forward to this season. But here in Vancouver, the score is 1-0 after 45 minutes. We have second half action coming up. This Northern Super League match is brought to you by WestJet, the official airline of the Northern Super League. Welcome back to our coverage of the inaugural match of the Northern Super League. The Vancouver Rise leading 1-0 over the Calgary Wild. And we've got a great little connection between those two teams. Let's go down to our Sarita Patel.
Jason, yes, a big news coming out of the sporting world as Vancouver Rise FC sporting director Stephanie Labe and her partner Georgia Summerling, who leads partnerships for Calgary Wild FC, welcome to the world twin baby girls. The couple announced on social media earlier today saying, quote, a love we've never felt before. Welcome Miss Maddie and Alice, born April 12th, 4 minutes apart. Maddie, our older girlie, born 6 pounds. Alice, younger but mighty, born 6 pounds, 11 ounces. Home, happy, cozy. Chillers by days, party animals by night. R.I.P. Rem. Wouldn't want it any other way. I think you two up there have some knowledge of sleep deprivation, don't you?
Yes, they have managed to put 2 twin mamas in the booth here tonight. So, yes, we know exactly what Steph and Georgia will have in their days and weeks and months to come. That's for sure, Amy.
Years and years of sleep deprivation, but also joy and love.
Don't forget about that. We're going to see some second half substitutions coming in for the Calgary Wild.
Does broadcast want me to do?
So Janaea Robertson coming into the game, as well as Sarita Thurston.
10-second warning.
Janaea Robertson from Delta, BC. Played her soccer with Coastal FC, so nice to be in front of family and friends today. The Vancouver Rise in those sunshine kits with teal and gold and black, already on the attack and earning a corner kick right away. Oh, they're calling goal kick. Great Jordy knew it. More tackles. Vukovic's going to be on her toes, and so does Calgary. Rise on the attack. Quinn. Spencer finding space. More clearing it with emphasis. And telling her team, we need to settle down.
And a bit of frustration as well. There's no way that Spencer should be finding that much daylight in the penalty box. That's just unheard of. So you're seeing a little bit of the build-up here. Almost stubbornly on their own byline. Left-footed clearance blocked easily. And then the opportunity comes from that.
Lee. Spencer, the cross in, Vukovic is on it. Playing over the back.
I think you're hoping, Signa, that what halftime affords you if you're Lydia Bedford and the Calgary Wild is a bit of a respite. You know, you were under duress from a high quality and pressing and well executed, well drilled Vancouver Rise side. Two substitutions shows that I think Bedford needed to shake things up. Not necessarily an indictment of those two players, but they make way for some fresh legs, and you hope for a better showing, but they're right back where they left off.
So Savitsky with the ball. Savitsky, a Coquitlam, BC native, playing in front of her friends and family as well. The Philippines international, played at the 2023 Women's World Cup. Savitsky, great story too. You know, it was about, I think she said that she took a year and a half off of professional football just to rest up her body and her mind. Still playing for Gorge FC during that time, but then the Philippines came calling, and she said, you know what, I still have a lot to give football, and here she is at 32 years of age playing in her home country. Mariah Lee on the attack. Walsmore getting a piece of it, but it's off to Holly Ward now. Ward going one-on-one against Michaela Moore. Beaten and cleared away.
Three in the box there for the Rise. Two right around that penalty spot and the region or the area where that cutback came to, but there's so much pop and explosiveness in the movement of Mariah Lee. So whenever she, even on off the ball movement, whenever she's in and around the ball, she's making things happen for the Vancouver Rise.
Lee at the top of the box looking for a crack, and it goes wide. There's Lydia Bedford. Just like Anya Heiner-Muller, UEFA Pro licensed coach. And she was just impressed by the energy and passion of the strong female leadership with the Calgary Wild. She also has family in the Calgary or the Alberta area, and she fell in love with it when she was a teenager. She said she always wanted to live there, and now finds herself as a head coach. And a change maker as well. The first woman to coach at the English Premiership level with Brentford and U18 level. So a real trailblazer for women's football.
Absolutely. I think she's imbued this squad with that same kind of attitude where, you know, they come in, and you were talking about Savitsky before. She was talking about feeling valued, like in the fold at Calgary Wild, whether it was the front office, the administration, or the technical staff. And I think Bedford is the one who's setting the tone for that.
throw long into the box, looking for Griffith. Can't get it there. Competing at the last Olympic Games for them in Paris 2024. Petrosky, first real attack we've seen from Petrosky, looking for Mariah Lee, Moore there to sweep it away.
In the first 45, I think where the Rise were quite dominant, Petrosky was quite quiet. And not that she was poor, but just not on the ball, not really influential in a way that I think she can be, and I think you saw that in the moment. I think that ball was...
Burton with her first touch, and it's a nice touch too, looking for Savitsky.
That ball that Petrosky played could have been a little bit more curling, finding into space for Lee, but they still get their opportunity with the cross.
Savitsky slips. Ball still live. Robertson tried to have a goal from distance, it was blocked.
Great turn.
Holly Ward showing that technical ability. And caught by Green. Corey Howard. Johnson. Playing across the back again. Bolsema, the Dutch international, their sporting director for Calgary, Alex Brooks, really focused on the center back position. Wolfsma and Moore, some of the first signings in team history. That was the strategy from the get-go. Two veterans leading it back there. Robertson slows down. Johnson finds a way. Holly Johnson gets it in and cleared. Got a little bit of life.
Standing with the late pressure there, but that cross is coming in all day. You saw Weller and you saw Cowart just retreat, trying to protect their goal, and hopefully the bodies and the players for the Wild who are flying in there, but the cross doesn't really get there.
Johnson. The cutback. Jordy Howard across to Thurton. Cleared by Spencer. But the Wild lurking right now. Left foot across in. And some trouble in the box.
Griffith left that pitch, and I just would have liked to have seen a little bit of initiative there, maybe some confidence, a little bit of audacity, Signa, to just hammer that. It might not come off, it might end up in row 37, but have a go. You're just on the outside of the six. I think that a bit of the quandary here for the Wild is a team you want to dictate the tempo. Well, how are you going to do it? We saw the possession pretty evenly split through 45, but I think with the Rise with a more dominant performance, I think we can all agree on that. And they come out the winners 1-0 through 45. Player with a knee down here. But now you see the Rise have almost put their foot on the accelerator, and they're dominant in all phases of the game. So they're not only dictating in possession, but when they've lost the ball, the counter press is suffocating. You're also seeing just a commitment from the team to stay knitted together, and it's a real cohesive unit on both sides of the ball for the Rise right now.
believe that's Holly Ward. Needs some attention to her hand. Mary Soleil Baudouin will ask them to deal with that off the pitch. Meanwhile, Jackie Savitsky getting some attention on her hand as well. The game played with our feet.
It is, but it'll affect the mental state when you're trying to play the game with your feet.
Sure.
It's a good point there, Butler.
The assistant coach Katie Collar there as well, brought on board, part of the Whitecaps Academy under Anya Heiner-Mola.
I'm digging the fits on both sides too.
I know.
I like what Anya's done here with the suit and with the kicks, and then we've got Lydia, a little more relaxed look with the tracky top.
I love the track top though.
But
it's got the owl eyes on the back.
Yeah. Gazing up here in the booth, and then the more relaxed, kind of wide-legged bottoms with the kicks too. I mean, and that at first we've talked about it, but setting the bar high for the fit.
I didn't catch the walk-ins today, so I'm sure that was looking fly. Is that still a word? Paczurski taken down heavily by Robertson. No call. Paczurski is down. Holly Ward is back in the game, and we're going to see a whistle here and some attention from the Vancouver medical staff.
The game where we've seen two cautions. I wonder if it's the placement of our match official there. Maybe takes her eye off as the ball travels past her, doesn't really see this challenge, but steps by. Oh, I think that gets ball, but you know, in my era, to date myself and to age myself, that is fine, but you're responsible for what happens after you touch the ball. So I see there that was a little bit. Well, reckless is the word, but a little bit cavalier in the way that it just went through the Vancouverized player.
Paczurski back up at it. Played in Sweden last year. Longhurst. I didn't realize Longhurst, you know, her size is very deceptive.
It is.
Target. Ward and Shorty, that battle going on. Ward going to the inside now. Quinn, the game's goal scorer. Quinn on a penalty in the 21st minute. Paczurski, Lee, combination now with Jalen Wright. Does well to get out of that situation.
Yeah, that's where Savitsky will really shine. Can escape the pressure, whether she's on the dribble or just looking to find a little bit of breathing room and find the comfortable pass that will give her teammates a little bit of space to operate. And that's the brilliance of a player like her in the middle of the park. Will help you out. Just keep the ball, put your foot on it, and also break lines and play progressively, but need to see more of that.
You see that Savitsky working it there. Here's Callie Johnson. Johnson along the touchline, can't get the cross in. And Vancouver will get that out to Paczurski, does well to keep that alive. Great recovery, but you knew that was going to be a foul on Allie Green.
Game's opened up a little bit here. Yeah. I think you're seeing, you were talking about Longhurst, about her size. Not really related to the game opening up. I think we're seeing more space on either side. I think we would have liked to have seen a ball with a little bit more conviction earlier by Johnson, as that's cut back basically to Vancouver-Rise players. But to your point about the stature of Longhurst, is what we're seeing in the women's game now is unlike when I was playing for the national team. There were different shapes and sizes because Chief Rose Officer Van Matheson is always 5 feet tall and was playing when I was playing, and we had gigantic players. I was somewhere in between, but we were all athletes first, footballers second. And now you're seeing a platform where you have a myriad of talents and a myriad of profiles that can emerge. And no matter if you're 6 feet tall and a towering target, or you're a tiny player who's deceptive and good on the dribble and good 1v1 and everything in between.
Vancouver with some movement on their bench as well.
That play that we saw from Savitsky, I think we need to see more of it. On the ball again there. Needs to be more active, needs to be connecting, needs to be, receiving passes, progressing the ball, getting it back. Really exerting her influence in the middle of the pitch, because we haven't really seen her be able to get on the ball. And truthfully, that's credit to the Rise and the way that they've bossed the midfield so far.
Haslin playing out of the back. Howard looking up. Doherty Howard is on it. Looking for Thurton. Sarita Thurton. Ajax, Ontario native. So another hometown, homegrown product coming out into the game. So Sarah Griffiths coming out. Good shift for Sarah Griffiths today. And Danielle Steer, all-time leading goal scorer in the Canada West. Great career at UBC. Has played professionally for a couple years. Now back on home soil for the Calgary Wild this time.
Great ball with Doherty Howard.
Thurton laying it in. There's an opportunity. Just right through the middle of both Wild players.
But the intent there, the execution on the cross, the quality was there. You just need more numbers there and more conviction on the finish. I think the Wild were there. It couldn't quite get on the end of that cross.
All the way to Vukovic. Quinn trying to spray the ball wide. Picked off. Johnson and Green on the left side. Green will look back.
Connection though, I think there between Rolfsema and Johnson, you need to see more of that whipping the midfield line with that single pass. Doesn't lead to anything, but the option is there. And then can they have more players off of that, dragging the Rise out of position to create more space for them as they move up to the third.
Weller. Right. So calm. I mean, she is a physical presence on the field, but always so calm as the substitutes come in for the Vancouver Rise coming into the game. Possible medical attention on the other side as well. Lisa Peczerski coming out of the game. Josie Longhurst coming out of the game. So Sophia Hagman, the Swedish youth national team player, coming into the match. Also into the match, Sarah Lilja, also from Sweden. So the two Swedes coming for a little trip on the Vancouver Rise inaugural match. Been closed down by the Wild. Still alive though. Just off the foot of Holly Ward.
Great first involvement there by Sarah Lilia.
Robertson, Thurton, Savitsky. Savitsky coming in the inside. And just too long for Danielle Steer.
Too long and perhaps not the right decision. A couple of yards, 20 yards out. That's when I think you need to have the confidence. You see Savitsky growing into this game. Catch the goalkeeper. Have a crack. You know, even if it doesn't come off, then that the threat is there. Then next time you're in that situation, you get more space. And then maybe you get, you know, that little seam, that little weighted pass, and you find your winger in behind going to the byline. Whereas there, the weighted pass, it goes out, doesn't amount to anything.
Wolfsbach has to come in and try for a clearance. Savitsky back to Moore. Just over 65 minutes played in this inaugural NSL match. Vancouver Rise with a 1-0 lead thanks to a penalty kick from Quinn in the 21st minute. And the Rise still in control. The Wild showing a little bit of rebound in the second half.
Much like us after our twin break.
Exactly. So Steph, Georgia, you can get through it.
Maybe not right now, but the rebound will happen.
Spin, Lee. That's cleared away by Moore, but Lilia was on the prowl. 23-year-old from Sweden. Goal kick. Vukovic back there. Vukovic played the last 6 seasons overseas. Capped 4 times for Croatia.
Yep, a little bit of a miscue there. Nothing wrong with Moore's pass.
Quinn to Weller.
Yes, of course. They were out.
Howard. Quinn switching direction. Weller finding Lee, always showing Lee is Lilia. Lilia going one-on-one. And the cross.
I think that was a shot all day. St. Matheson didn't
I was
quite
helping
come
her out
off.
there. I was helping her out.
Like it though. Like the initiative. You want to go at a player, isolate them there. Again, here we're seeing Mariah Lee get involved, much as Lilia did it as soon as she was substituted into the game. Just doesn't quite wrap her left foot around the ball enough there to try to find that far peg.
Quinn winning the ball back. Weller and Howard. This has been a solid back line in those central positions. Moore has to be on her her toes. Mariah Lee is right there. Back to Bukovic, who saves it. Whew. Stephanie Bukovic, the goalie for the Calgary Wild. You may notice she plays a lot with her feet. She's a freestyle soccer player as well. She performed at the FIFA World Cup in 2015.
Well, it explains where some of that kind of brazeness comes from, right? Like if I was that good, you know, I would maybe be performing somewhere,
at the
or maybe
Pan Am
my
Games.
national team career would have been extended a little bit. But I mean, that's what you want in your goalkeeper, especially in the modern game. Completely comfortable with the ball at her feet.
Matheson with the go. Into the match for the Calgary Wild. Kaylee Book. Brooks is a Calgary native, was one of the early signings for the team. Coming back from Treaty United in Ireland. Yeah, over 12,000 fans here today at BC Place Stadium. 20 minutes remaining in this match, and will the fans go home happy with a Rise victory? Here is Holly Ward, the Vancouver native, across to Hedman.
Great try by Ward. Just absolutely running Sortie ragged in that channel over there. And showing a little bit of variety in her game. I mean, yes, she wants to be facing forward, has the confidence to do so. But the intent, the clarity of what she wants to accomplish every single time she's on the ball is evident, I think, to everybody here in BC Place. But more importantly, to her teammates. You're seeing an understanding, I think, develop, and partnerships start to develop as well, which is exciting to see. But, you know, you're seeing a Holly Ward, yes, win those 1v1 battles, but also link up, also drift into other spaces and just comfortable. And her teammates are able to find her and recognizing that she has something, like she senses the weakness, the blood in the water, as Claire was talking about it at halftime, and you're seeing it in that matchup and in the 1v1 duels on that left side.
Canadian head coach Stacey Stoney likes what she saw, what she's done at the University of Texas. She played there actually under Angela Kelly, a Canada Soccer Hall of Famer. That Longhorns program, but Holly Ward, a graduate of the Whitecaps Academy, and just picked up her first cap for Canada as a substitute against Argentina. And here come the Rise again. Quinn. The cross! And the Wild getting it out of trouble will try and get their shape back. Weller turning.
Substitution for
late challenge there as well. They're just making sure Weller knew she was on the pitch.
Here gives chase on McCaslin's got to be careful. Right. Tangled up. Here comes Johnson. Johnson. And Tolly Johnson. I wouldn't give her too much space. We saw some highlight reel plays of her in the Western United of the A-League. She can score.
Absolutely. Maybe I would have liked to have seen it take an extra touch, drive into that space a little bit, get a little bit closer to goal, and threaten a bit more, because Matheson stayed rooted to the spot, knew all day long that shot was not going to be on frame.
Well, Mariah Lee is getting the applause. I mean, she has been involved in every attack tonight, but Nadia Sawan gets into the match. Sawan just fresh off a call-up to Egypt. She had a goal and 2 assists against 2 wins over Jordan, and had a real standout career, 34 goals at the University of Portland. So she comes in for Mariah Lee, different profile player, but hold-up player for sure. Book's getting forward, finds Johnson. Johnson with a low cross, that's dangerous! And McCaslin has to be on her toes. And Coward is down on the pitch.
Howard. Been really steady back there.
Yeah, describes herself as, sounds a little bit like an oxymoron, but an attacking center back. You know, you've got your ball playing center halves, those stalwarts at the back, and I think is showing, I think already, you know, 76 odd minutes played so far for Vancouver Rise in this inaugural game for the Northern Super League. You know, that with Shannon Weller, who's going to stay a little bit more at home, stay more composed, stay a little bit deeper, that they're playing off one another really well, and that partnership is blossoming.
Into the 75th minute here at BC Place Stadium, the inaugural game of the Northern Super League. I can't get tired of saying that. We have waited 3 years since this was conceptualized on a napkin by Diana Matheson and her MBA colleague Thomas Gilbert, now involved in the Ottawa Rapid franchise. And what a moment this has been. Just seeing this crowd at BC Place. The home team giving them something to cheer about. Of course, players on Calgary, 5 players from the BC area playing in front of family and friends like they haven't been able to before.
I think you're going to see that stoke the rivalry in this league, right, Signa? Like, I think early on, you know, there was some murmurs in the echo chambers where I live on social media, people raising eyebrows and saying, what's going on with Toronto coaching the Vancouver players? But you're seeing it in other clubs as well, with Calgary able to get their hands on a couple of players. Savitsky on the ball, one of them.
Savitsky spraying the ball wide. That's Certain. Certain sets in space. She plays it first time, and the ball deflected back to McCaslin. Certain had some nice attacks over there on that right side. She played at 2 Youth World Cups, U17, U20 World Cups. Plenty of experience for a young player.
Yeah, you're seeing like what she wants to do and what she wants to accomplish. If she's able to find the ball to Keith, and Savitsky is able to link up with her, then there's a lot that's happening off of her boots, whether it's a dangerous cross or a dribble or drifting into space and threatening that way and being an option for her teammates. But definitely a player that stood out to me for the Calgary Wild.
Steer playing the ball in. Some pressure up front. Back to McCaslin. Weller. Hagman. Wide. That's Spencer. Spencer with some space. What's Ward going to get up to? Ward. The cross in. And letting it run by her body is Brooks. Brooks does well. Gets it back to Wolfsma. Another Calgary substitute coming in, and it's the teenager. One of the twins, Sagan Stewart, coming into the match, 17 years of age, a high school student coming in for Robertson. And Stewart, Canadian, but part of the Welsh youth system, along with her sister. Twin sister? We're talking a lot about twins tonight, aren't we?
There's got to be a Twin Towers activate moment coming up.
Holly Ward! Ward with a shot blocked by Moore.
Moore taking the full brunt of that try by Ward there.
Lilia with the turn on Stewart.
the other Stewart Quinn not dressed for today, but I'm sure it will happen at some point. And then you're going to be seeing something. Quinn who played in the famed Barcelona Academy, and you're going to see some connections, some weird connections happening on the pitch that will be good for the fans.
What a moment. 17 years of age, playing pro in your home country, for your hometown. Book. Ooh, tripped up. Go on. Or clears it.
Strong challenge by Lilia there. Nothing wrong with that, but I've liked her energy. That's exactly what you want. Coming in as a substitute, is there something tactically that your coach is asking you to do, or sometimes it's the fresh legs, it's the energy aspect. You're going to give the team's level a lift, and she's brought immense quality with it as well.
Deer pressuring. Deer still alive here. Across to Savitsky. Savitsky trying to have a go from distance. Matheson is on it. Got to keep them honest, though.
That's good. I like that by Savitsky. Didn't quite have the power on it, or perhaps the placement that she wanted. But that, the decision earlier when she chooses to play the ball into space, to thread that through for certain, it's a little bit too heavy. That's where you want her to pull the trigger when she's just on the outside of the D.
Howard seems fine after taking that knock, but Matheson now less than 10 minutes remaining in the opening match of the NSL. Vancouver Rise holding on to that 1-0 lead from the opening half goal by Quinn. 21st minute penalty kick.
Well done by Quinn.
Under pressure, finding Sawan. Sawan now finding Ward. Ward, the crowd coming alive. Ward with the shot.
Just a fabulous build-up, a tremendous sequence by the Vancouver Rise. Composure by Quinn. Sawan with the through ball. Ward again, lively. I would even throw around the word electric performance by her today. And cuts it back like she did in the previous effort, but this time not blocked. Gets on goal, can't quite pick the corner.
Ward is one to watch in this league this season. She's 21 years of age. Quinn finding Ward. Ward with space. 30 trying to close her down. Ward has that first touch cleared by Moore. All Vancouver right now. And I suppose there's the broadcaster jinx. Johnson has it. Deer and Weller, they've had a battle. Deer wins the battle, but Weller gets it out of touch.
Able to steer her wide. Sorry.
It's such a mom joke.
I think you've seen a game, I wouldn't say disjointed, but there's been a disruption a little bit with the injections of so many substitutes. So I think you would have seen a Vancouver Rise wanting to get 2 goals to kind of sew this game up. But you've seen kind of a pesky, determined Calgary Wild that won't go away. And I think that is due in part to the substitutes that have come onto the pitch. And I think a Savitsky, who now, whether it was nerves or otherwise, or just the state of the game, now is a little bit more influential.
Really strong second half by Savitsky. Thurton keeping it alive. Thurton going one-on-one against the veteran Jasmine Spencer. The cross in, Howard clears. Quinn, easy speed, easy. Finds Ward.
a nice little side foot pass. And that will result in a corner kick with just over 5 minutes and added time to go.
You've seen a Vancouver Rise team that has done what they came to do. They've dictated absolutely, but they've also been able to manipulate, I think, the Calgary Wild to draw them in, to suck them in, and then find the space, spray the ball, whether that's Quinn, whether that's Stanton. I think you saw a Mariah Lee. Prior to her coming out, I think Ward now has been so dominant on that left flank that if there was, do we have a player of the match? I'm sure we have a player of the match.
We must have a player of the match.
Ward would be a good shout for that. But I think Vancouver has played this game very successfully.
Stanton, the corner driven in. Howard just flicking it on. Spencer, ball still in. Ward determined to win that back shorty, manages to get it out, but not out of danger. Quinn. And that'll go out for a goal kick. Getting the call there. And a yellow for Sawan. Yeah, you can't do that. But Marie Soleil-Baudouin has been busy with her book tonight.
It's a bit of a tome. It's not a book anymore.
No. Book. Stewart. Nice cross inside. Oh, Savitsky. Thurden's still on it, though. Savitsky.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, what a moment that would have been for the Calgary Wild.
That has been the solution for the Calgary Wild in connection, in cohesiveness, and trying to break through a really stubborn and well-drilled Vancouver Rise team has been through that duo of Savitsky and Thurden. They just won't go away and keep finding little pockets of space for Savitsky to operate in. The Thurden is always kind of lurking.
Waning minutes of this match, and that was the best chance for the Calgary Wild.
Poor clearance by Moore.
Ward, Lilia, back to Ward. Ward just having her way down that left flank. Sawan.
And if anybody's going to the corner and you want to shield the ball and kill the clock, it's Yuan Sawan on the ball there. Really strong and capable and able to keep defenders at bay.
Vukovic coming out strong and has the advantage there. I think both players taking a knock there, Sawan and Vukovic.
Yeah, immediately waving the trainers on anytime there's a question that it's a head injury or coming together. Yeah, it's not quite head-to-head, but Sawan a little bit more worse for wear there, but very aggressive since she's come on, been quite disruptive, leading the line for the Rise. Different brand of player than what we saw from Mariah Lee, like affording the Rise something different. And maybe what you need to close out a game to see out a victory when you've only scored the one goal, but you've dominated the game pretty convincingly.
Sawan, a 22-year-old upstart, was on the U.S. Coaches Association Forwards to Watch list while she was at the University of Portland. Books. Wild trying to pummel their way in. Stewart, great recovery to get a piece.
Wolfsma. Players still down for the Rise.
Down deep in the Rise end, and Baudouin is calling for the medical trainers. The trainers were busy on the other side trying to get back to the pitch, but so 5 minutes of added time in this opening match of the Northern Super League. The Rise maintaining that 1-0 lead, and you know, your makings of this game. I know we're not done yet, but
yeah, I mean, I just think you know, first 45 was pretty straightforward, where you saw Rise dictate, and then I think you saw the first half of the second half, or 15 to 20, where the Rise came to life and were smothering, were really aggressive in the counter press. But you saw in fits and starts, you saw the Wild find their space, find their moments, couldn't quite convert, but wouldn't go away, and then it's become a game that's been a little bit chippy, a lot more physical, and is that due to maybe the game flow being disrupted by all of the substitutions? Who knows? But I mean, if that was a tactic by Bedford, I think it's worked somewhat to unsettle the Rise. But I still think, you know, while the Rise, if you go out and you look at chances, you look at offensive actions, you look at connections, you know, pass completion percentage, I think the Rise would be on top by a large margin. But the Calgary Wild are still here, and then they would have liked to have scored more goals to really put the Wild away, but they failed to do that, and now the Wild may have a way back into this match.
Book trying to find Johnson, and that'll go past for a goal kick. Heading the ball away. Doherty Howard taken down. The Wild still going for it. It's just a 1-0 game. But they'll need to push. Final minutes of added time. Weller up against Weller, the veteran, up against the 17-year-old Stewart. Savitsky, so lively in the second half.
I am stunned that there was no card there. How quickly Baudouin got her card out for the other one when Sawan put herself in front of the free kick. I mean, that was a foul and a yellow card all day long. And Ward sliding over on her knees to get off the pitch.
They want a substitution. Great fan support here at the game. Announced crowd of 14,000 and change. And we see their hometown Rise, whose next game is on the 27th. It'll be at Swangard, their debut there at their home pitch in Burnaby. Sawan and Shorty battling. Thurton holding up. Nice little turn to give herself some space.
Yeah. Tough center to back right off. Got her team some time.
Wolfsma, Wild pushing forward, only 3 in the back now. Stewart. Thurton, the low pass, that's dangerous.
It's an important block. Was that by Coward? It's so important to get a strong leg in there to get off, to get that ball off the pitch, yeah. So it's Stewart now, who's playing provider. But Thurton has been really, really dangerous, and it's been blocking that ball and shepherding it out for a corner. Was down and in need of a little bit of help. And that's only a few minutes after Holly Ward came off the pitch, and I think audibly we would have heard, I can't walk, and we hope that's due to cramp and not to a more severe
A lot of players
injury.
cramping up. I see Grace Doherty as well, limping, stretching her calves out. But that's a concern. Howard has had a really solid game for the Vancouver Rise. You can hear Nikki Stanton saying, nothing here. We're well into added time now. The corner, deep. McCaslin somehow comes down with it.
Hasn't been called upon often, Signa, but that is what you know what you're getting with McCaslin. He's confident, consistently reliable, and good, clean hands. And you saw her do that there. She comes out to claim and does so decisively, which is exactly what her team needed her to do.
So Coward coming out of the game, and nice to see Kennedy Faulkner into the match. Former youth international, former Canada Youth Player of the Year, has had concussion troubles in her career, but she is back. And with the Vancouver Rise, foul on Vancouver.
Baudouin looking at her watch.
Ward. Some time wasting. The Wild desperate for an equalizer. Are they going to have enough time for one last push?
So Holly Ward, all right. She's back on the pitch. Maybe not with the same pace that we've seen her through 90 minutes plus.
And that's it! The first victory in the Northern Super League belongs to the Vancouver Rise. The final. Quinn's goal in the 21st minute off a penalty kick was the deciding factor against the Calgary Wild today. Anya Heiner-Muller beating Lydia Bedford-Flood 1-0 in a great atmosphere at BC Place.
I think we saw today, the home team get a victory, get the inaugural victory for the Northern Super League in a really convincing manner, exactly as they drew it up. But I think you saw Calgary Wild team, and the grit and the grace and a cohesive and together team was thrown around. I think you saw moments from them, but I didn't think you saw enough consistent spells to really threaten consistently. In that last corner there, where McCaslin has to come out and claim, was really as dangerous as they looked. A couple of squeakers by the post, but didn't really threaten consistently. But I think you saw enough from them that you know that they're going to pose some difficulties for other teams in this league.
Well, it started with the excitement, the nerves, the mystery of the Northern Super League, but in the end, this new presence on the global women's soccer stage put on a show in front of 14,000 at BC Place. Quinn, and didn't it have to be Quinn?
It had to be.
With the goal today.
I think that the Northern Super League, this performance, the quality from day one, people are watching, people are paying attention to what the Northern Super League is. Out of curiosity, out of interest, as you're saying, like shrouded in a little bit of mystery. Now we sort of pulled back the curtain. We're allowed to peek in, and I think the product, not to no one's surprise, and certainly not mine, is a high quality product, and this is only going to continue to grow.
Moments of elation for the winners today. The Vancouver Rise. Final cheer for the Rise as they'll salute their fans who showed up for their team today. players with that opportunity to finally play on home soil in front of friends and family. A really special moment. And certainly one of the special moments of this game, it had to have been Quinn scoring the winning goal, and they are standing by with our Sarita.
Thank you so much, Kate. Yes, here, big moments, you step up. Can you just describe you being the first goal scorer in NFL history?
Yeah, it's a pretty cool experience. Definitely don't get many, so that was fun to get. Well, really proud of this.
Where was your rank?
Yeah, I think it was like.
We're just having a few technical difficulties at the moment, but you can etch it in the history books. Vancouver Rise with the first win in Northern Super League history. 1-0 over the Calgary Wild. We'll be back with more in just a minute.